I need to divide it by compare it with that what. So it's like so what you have got as compared to what you had actually. That's the okay. And you might have to remember that we learned in mathematical thinking that it's always useful to consider the extreme cases. Consider two different examples. Consider this portfolio. Otherwise, you chose to do not invest on stock actually. So that I'm just investing on bonds. Okay? And what is going to be the return on this portfolio?
xb1 minus xb0 over
It is going to be x b1 minus x b0 x, which is going to be take this out. Is it making sense? So if I'm not investing in the stock, my returns are going to be the interest rate. Okay, whatever the interest rate being offered, okay, on bonds I'm going to get that. Not more than that. It makes sense? And how about if I have 0y? It's going to be y is 1 of omega minus s naught. S naught. Okay. This is going to be equal. This is going to be, what do you say, your return on stock?
Why? Because we know also the
Okay. So what do you think what this quantity is? That's return on the stock actually. Okay. It's like S1 of omega minus S naught divided by S naught. That's the returns on the stock. These are two important quantities that we get. So I hope that this makes sense. There are exercises, just do with them. Okay. So your task is to understand theory and to do exercise.
I think we just said that it's in the 7th century.
So we'll have
X
x b naught as well here. Cancel. And if I substitute value of b naught, which is 1 plus r b naught. Now I would like to define, so we talked about enough of arbitrage, freelance, and this and that, but what does it mean with this notation? So I would like to define arbitrage. What do you mean by arbitrage opportunity? So arbitrage opportunity is a portfolio, is an investment strategy. That's why. Okay. That's why is arbitrage opportunity. If and only if should have two properties. There are two properties. Number one, it shouldn't worth anything at time 0. In other words, I'm not taking anything out of my pocket. So it's a kind of investment. Okay. So it's like, okay, getting money from there, investing here and taking profit, returning the money and keeping the profit. That's what I'm okay. So it's a kind of an opportunity where the V naught phi is zero. So initial value of the value. And
That's what.
there are two things to work. V1 of phi of omega is non-negative. For all omega and omega, the value of the portfolio is non-negative. And V1 of phi probability that V1 phi of omega is going to be strictly positive for some omega in omega. Okay. Let me rewrite it. Let me rewrite it more concretely. So, something is arbitrage opportunity if it worth nothing at time 0, but at time 1 you are expecting to have some value of it. I'm going to say that's an opportunity. I mean, what does this make shows? This makes sure that you are not going to lose anything out of this portfolio. In other words, its value is always going to be non-negative. So you're not losing anything. And, okay, this could also mean that V1 phi of omega is 0 for all omega and omega.
Yeah.
But that's not something interesting. Why? Because
It's very
so it's like, okay, it was 0 at time 0 and the 1, 0 at time 1, nothing interesting. It's going to be interesting when that at least for one omega, okay, V1 of phi of omega is positive for some omega you're expecting that at least for one up and down, I'm expecting a positive value. Huh? Calculated. I mean, if it is positive, just think about it. Return is going to be positive as well. Ah, okay. You are saying that okay. What is going to be the return? Obviously, is not going to be different. It's going to be simple. That's a good question. What is going to be the return of this portfolio? Okay. The return on this portfolio, we can say that it's indeterminate. I don't know that how much I'm going to make out of it because I don't know that how much this value is going to go up. So it could explode actually. You can make loads of money. Imagine that.
concept of limit.
Anyway, it's a good point to reflect on. Never thought of it. Okay. What's an arbitrage opportunity? It's a portfolio. It's an investment strategy which works on nothing. And it's always non-negative, otherwise you're not losing in the future anything. And
There's a possibility.
there's a possibility that you're going to have some positive money out. So there are examples, I'm not getting into it. You can do those concrete examples for Joseph. anything which violates this definition is not going to be an arbitrage opportunity. There's a little exercise basically there, which gives you different possibilities and asks from you that, okay, what is, whether it's an arbitrage opportunity. Alright, so we have value of the portfolio, we have returns, we define arbitrage opportunity. Now we can ask a question. Imagine I have been given a model. Okay. How can I know with certainty that there is an arbitrage opportunity or not? And if there is an arbitrage opportunity, how can I exercise? That's what the next thing is. What we will like to do. But if you understood this first chapter, you understood almost everything in this book. Okay. Because the rest of the thing is just generalization of what we are doing here. It's nothing new. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is to study something which is necessary and sufficient condition for existence of arbitrage. That's the arbitrage. And this is sometimes also called NoArbitrage principle. Okay. This is exactly what we are doing. Math finance is filled with inference. It's all about theoretical. So here's the statement. It says that a single period, I hope you understand what I mean by a single period, binary model, it's a binary model because there are two possibilities for stock and everything. Almost except with a single stock. Stock. Is viable, which is a term that we are going to use lots, is viable. In other words, arbitrage is free. Arbitrage free. Okay. If and only if this inequality is satisfied. Which plus R is not. It means it's one of the so check that for your given model whether this inequality is true or not. If it is, there is no arbitrage option. And if this is violated, then you have a possibility of making single period 0, 1. Binary means up and down. Single stock means we are just involved in one stock. Okay? Now what? Let's prove it quick. You think it's a good condition in the sense that it's an easily verifiable condition in the sense that you see the model, you just check this and you know for sure that it's happening.
Sir, but S1 of A and S1 of U will be known at the end time, when time is 1. So, what would be the profit of knowing that time?
No. Okay, that's a good question. Alright. So we are saying that imagine we are assuming that in whole of this, we are assuming at the moment that this model is so this movement is not growth. In other words, I don't know that what is going to take its value. So it's like okay, whether it's going to be S1D or S1U, okay, but it can only take these two values. There is another implicit assumption sitting inside that I know the potential prices of the stock. Potential prices of the stock. Okay. So it's like I mean if you are expert, okay, like those guys, I mean if you heard the documentary in the beginning, there was a guy who was saying, I don't believe what I can. My experience is good. They come up with the crazy things. So he has kind of, okay, what do you call it? A threshold. Okay, this could be the upper bound. So price can go up maximum this and it can go down maximum this. So it's like similar. So in other words, we know in advance that okay, imagine. So it's not a good model. Obviously, that's what the limitation of it is actually. And by generalizing it, we are going to get rid of this weakness. Actually. But at the moment, we are assuming that the stock can take two values. I don't know which, but they are known to be. Roughly. They are known to be. How it's built into. Okay? So, consider this first. So, in other words, this inequality holds, and I'm going to show that my model is viable, because there is no arbitrage actually. And what is it going to mean that there is no arbitrage? It's going to mean that if I have a portfolio which has value 0, it's going to have value 0 in the future, no matter what happens. So suppose I have a portfolio XY such that not of X by is there. Okay. And I know that this inequality is also true. It is going to be the V1 of V1 5 for example. Okay. Now we're going to consider three cases actually. Number one, so I want to make sure that this is not an arbitrage opportunity. This is not an arbitrage opportunity. So I'm going to have three cases. For example, consider I'm not investing anything in stocks. Consider this. And then the second case is going to imagine I'm buying some stock and I'm selling some stock. Okay. So y equal to 0. So if y equal to 0, what could be V naught phi of omega? So it's going to be x v1 plus just x v1. but how this could be done as it is there.
सर अगर स्टॉक जीरो है
हाँ?
बॉन्ड पर हमारे पास सिर्फ बॉन्ड है और उनकी वैल्यू जो है
Ah,
ऑलरेडी जीरो है तो जीरो ही मिलेगी
ठीक है. We can't just directly think about it. What I'm saying is that if V naught of xy is 0, then I'm going to have from this equation x v naught plus y s naught equal to 0. So this is 0, so x v naught is 0. Then I have a positivity of the bonds assumption, so there must be. So in other words, if y is 0, you are forced that you should invest also in bond side, not the better. Because the moment you invest in a bond, you are creating another problem. Just think about it. Just think about it. That imagine y is 0, but x is not 0. So for example, x is positive. So what is going to be even phi of omega? So it's going to be xv. xv1 means it's a positive number. So I have a value of the portfolio xy, which is 0, and what we got. You know, the best way is to say that if y is 0, then x is going to be 0 no matter what happens. It's not in your hand. It's going to be 0. So if x is 0 and y is 0, then what do you think about v1 phi is going to be 0 as well in all cases? So is phi is the arbitrage opportunity in this case? Because it works 0 and it is 0. Its value in the future is therefore it's not an arbitrage opportunity. Okay. Let's consider the second case where I assume that y is positive. I'm investing in the stocks. Okay. I'm investing in stocks. That's the second case. Okay. If y is positive, do this. Multiply this inequality because this is true. Followed by y. So if I'm going to multiply this followed by y, what will happen? Y as one of a less than y 1 plus r s naught less than y s 1 of 0. It's not going to change any current because y is 1. Okay. And add xb1 to this inequality problem. Adding xb1 plus y s1 of e, and this guy is less than xb1 plus y 1 plus r s naught less than x1 plus y s1 of e. So what is this guy? This guy is v1 phi of
B.
b less than something in the middle, and v1 phi of u. Here's the question. What you can say about this quantity? Just think about it. So I have x b1 plus y 1 plus r s naught. Okay? Y 1 plus r s naught. So I can say that
One
this
plus
is
R
same
B
as
naught.
1 plus R times
B naught.
alpha. Agree? Because I can plug 1 plus R as B naught here, pull out 1 plus R. And this is going to be 0. So B naught phi is 0. That's our primary assumption. Now, what does follow from here is that P1 phi of D is less than 0. This is less than P1 phi of. Okay. Question: Is this something good to happen?
This violates the arbitrage.
This violates the definition of arbitrage. In other words, the phi is not going to be arbitrage opportunity. Okay? Because for the arbitrage opportunity, you need V1 of phi always non-negative. That's the first thing that you should have. While here the V1 of phi for the D it's becoming negative. So it's okay, no matter what it is, but it's not an arbitrage opportunity. Okay. So what we shown first that if V0 of a portfolio is 0 and you are making no investment in stocks, this XY cannot be an arbitrage opportunity. The second thing that we did that okay if Y is positive, okay, and in other words you are making some stocks investment in the stock, okay, then this inequality is going to push us that the opportunity is not an arbitrage opportunity. In other words, its value is 0 and for one portfolio or for the one possibility, the V1 of phi, the value of the portfolio is negative. Therefore, okay, it makes sense. Little.
Sir, I have got a confusion in proving जब हम V नॉट को जीरो कर रहे हैं तो वहां से हम एक इम्प्लीकेशन ला रहे हैं ना कि जो है ना देयर इज नो आर्बिट्राज तो वहां पर डेफिनेशन में
What was definition? Just look at the definition says that opportunity is an arbitrage opportunity if V1 phi of omega is non-negative for all omega and for one omega V1 phi of omega is strictly quantitative. Now, can you see trouble with it? So I have a portfolio phi whose value is 0, but for one omega which is D, V1 of phi is negative. So it doesn't meet with what do you call therefore XY is not an arbitrage. Okay? Your task is to think for yourself what's going to happen when Y is negative. Okay? So you can read out the books easily. Okay? So we are done with this part of it. Again, you have to use the same inequality. Huh?
It will be same thing, I guess.
It's almost the same thing. Then this inequality is going to be reversed factor. It's going to be reversed. So the up is going to be the negative. Therefore, it's not okay.
Sir, why is showing units of the stock?
Yes.
When we say why would we make the unit means
It means buying and selling up. When you are buying, when you are holding something, that quantity is positive. And when you are selling, that quantity is negative. So why negative means you have sold this. One of the trouble with this financial system, financially, is just that sometimes you can trade that thing which you don't own actually. And even trade this. Not very well. Learn it up. Before criticizing it, we have to understand it. Okay. So let's think about now positively. In other words, imagine that the model is viable, there is no arbitrage opportunity, and I want to prove this viability. And the way to do it is that I'm going to